Shalom, this is Sophia AmaruKhan, your family neighborhood Shuman, and we're here with our monthly wrap-up and give and receive requests. This is where we just go over, what videos I put together for the month, and hopefully what impact we were able to have. And then I just throw my give and receive requests out there. This is to maintain my own personal integrity and how I request, to make sure I'm not asking for something when I didn't put anything out. Now, I will say that May was a light information month, because it was a lot of introspection and research. So we don't have quite as many videos to go through as we do in other months, but I do believe June will be way different. So we started the month with our Taurus new moon video, and of course, if you want to have access to those, you're free to come over to our lunar working group, which the link is in the description. You'll just have to copy and paste it because YouTube took away my clickability. So that was the very first video we had for May. Then we had a Negro News update, and this is basically like kind of when I started to realize that the inverse of our Operation Holly Jolly that we did in Sagittarius season was going to be coming about with this the Sagittarius new moon, right, in Sagittarius season 12/12 was going to be coming to a boiling point with the Sagittarius full moon. And the first thing I started to notice was, of course, this takedown of BBL Drizzy, which he's literally, like, I literally told y'all he was going to take on that moniker in order to make a comeback. And I swear to goodness, he jumped on the track to BBL Drizzy with Sexy Red. Like, I knew he was going to, the name is too popular. Like, there's no other way to get around that but to take on the name. And lo and behold, if BBL Drizzy didn't take on the name, saying BBL means something other than Brazilian butt lift, okay? I've been Brazilian butt lift for 1,001 years, and now all of a sudden it means something else. But okay, the whole Miss USA thing. Oh, also, let's see, the Miss USA resigned. Teen Miss USA resigned, and they did crown a new Miss USA, which was Miss Hawaii. So I thought that was interesting because we know Hawaii, Lahaina, that whole attack. And so to put Miss Hawaii in there, I think that's going to backfire on them tremendously. And she really should probably not have done that, given all of the attention that's already been brought to Hawaii. So anyway, we'll see how that works out. Then I did a video about 7 Years of Plenty, in relation to Amos 7. And the thing with that is the whole concept of 7 years of plenty, right? There was 7 years of famine, then there was 7 years of plenty. And so basically we talk about the switch. And so the people who have had their 7 years of plenty already, even if it was a little bit, it wasn't, 7 years of plenty and everything was good. There's still people who have had 7 years of spiritual blessings that they didn't use, or they hid and kept for themselves instead of spreading it around. So the people who have had the 7 years of plenty are not going to have the 7 years of lack. And the people who have had 7 years of lack, i.e. you have been hitting the ground really, really hard, fighting for every little bit of information, not able to really get the information that you need, having to really pull it from the spirit realm, you're going to have 7 years of plenty where the information is going to be good, it's going to be flowing and all of that. And that's mostly because the people who have had 7 years of lack have for 7 years developed their capability of communicating with the spirit. And the people who have had 7 years of plenty, they don't know how to communicate with the spirit. They still They don't get it. They could have, in their times of plenty, still decided to figure out how to listen to the spirit, and they didn't. So, that's what's coming next. Then I did a live stream, which I haven't done in forever and 1,000 years, and that was on spiritual protection and the Schumann Mystery School. Of course, I gave y'all some stuff about protection. I re-emphasized how important protection is. I can't remember what I gave y'all. I would have to go back and listen to that live stream, but I definitely did give y'all something about protection. I just can't remember what it was. And of course, the mystery school, that's going to be launching on 8/8, so keep your eyes out for that one. That's when we're going to start moving forward. Then we have 2 videos. One is the Fast for Forgiveness unofficial liturgy, and that's just a little liturgy I put together for the fast. And then the Fast for Forgiveness, I did a longer video about that, related to Matthew 6, 14, and 15, and then another scripture that I can't see on the screen. And so that in that video, I just went over the point of the forgiveness is we need forgiveness for ourselves. We need other people to be forgiven. We know that they're going to experience 7 years of lack, right? But we still want them to have an opportunity to engage the Holy Spirit and to get that spiritual connection during their 7 years of lack. That's coming so that they can sustain themselves. Nobody prayed for us so that we could have, it could be not so hard during this 7 years of lack. And so we don't want to treat our brothers like everyone treats us. It's just not fair. You know what I mean? So that's that. Then we got a video, the Sagittarius full moon. Boy, that Sagittarius full moon video, it's going to be like this Gemini new moon video that I'm getting ready to make. So anyway, again, if you're interested in the new moon and full moon videos, you have to join our lunar working group. It's called the AmaruKhan Lunar Working Group. If you want access to those videos, those are not public videos. And it's not that you have to pay. It's not a paid thing. It's just you have to come through the working group portal. That's so I can keep track of who's getting the information. If somebody uses it improperly, I got my eyes on it. Okay. All right. Then we did a video. The Vatican updates its norms for discerning alleged supernatural phenomena. So we read the whole article. Then we read a good deal of the letter from the whatever that guy is. He's not called the C. He's called something else, but I can't remember right now. And the very interesting thing about what the Vatican has going on, all in all, is that it is removing itself from determining what's a supernatural phenomenon and what isn't. It is taking itself out of that. And in context now, that makes sense because it was never their power to determine who was having a supernatural experience and who was not. And so, for whatever reason, them putting themselves in the middle of that, like determining what was really supernatural and what really wasn't, it really caused a huge backfire for them all of these years. And we'll probably end up doing a part 2 to that video at some point, but I haven't gotten into that yet. Then I did an astroturography video for May 18th. I hope in light of my transmutation video that I put out yesterday that you guys review that, because then you can see how to kind of navigate the energy that's coming in, especially if it's not necessarily good energy. There's a way to navigate that, okay? And I'm sure I'll be reviewing that. All right, so next I have a short video that I posted in which one of the demonic 9 sorors was discussing how one of the girls from the foundation chapter at Howard renounced Minerva and the whole organization. And I didn't, make no comment on that because no comment was necessary. Honestly, we've been asking over here on this channel for all of these gatekeepers to be removed, and for these people who decided that they were our spiritual I don't even know what you call it. They were better than us spiritually, to be taken off of that pedestal, because they don't get to determine our spiritual nature. Now, the reason why we have the mystery school coming up and the light, I'm gonna call it a light society or a fraternal sisterhood that we're gonna have to, or brotherhood, maternal brotherhood that we're going to have to do, is because there has to be something to replace that, the way the knowledge is taught. Also, I don't think that it's fair for these people. They're working with Minerva. They're not even, or whoever, all the different ones are working with different ones. They don't even tell these people they're going to become devotees of these different gods and goddesses. That's not fair. Again, maybe I did a video about this, but it's not fair to, when you're converting someone into God and goddess worship, like, and you're telling them they're going to have to be a devotee, basically a Vestal virgin for them. Like, you can't not tell them who they're going to be worshiping. You can't just say, oh, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you that, but not tell them how. That's not fair. And so I always figured that it was a mock copy of the whole Vestal Virgin, devotee thing that they had. It was a whole copy of what the oracles used to do in ancient Greece, all the way back. The ancient high priestesses used to do. I always figured it was that, and basically that was a confirmation that that's exactly what it is. The crazy part is the girl who left the organization, she pledging her allegiance to Jesus Christ. She don't even know who that is. So it's not like she going from the fire, from the frying pan into the fire. I mean, you can't be pledging your allegiance to this guy. You don't know who he is. You just saying his name all willy-nilly with no titles and no nothing, That's why I always refer to Jesus, Yeshua, as our brother. You know what I mean? Like, that's a title. Our brother is a very powerful title, because if we are the daughters of Zion, highly elevated women, then the title of our brother means you're a highly elevated man, or the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. That's a different title. But just like, oh, Jesus Christ. Well, which Jesus? There's a bunch of them. There's the one that they created. There's the one I showed y'all in that picture. I don't know which Jesus she's talking about, and I don't think she knows either. So she already got a propensity to these little g gods, due to the fact that she was able to even get into that organization. So I think that she's on a very dangerous path, if she don't know which little g god she's working with. So anyway, that's always the danger. You can't go from one set of little g gods to another set of little g gods without knowing who they are. You got to know who they are. It's not really optional. So she didn't figure that out yet, but I'm sure she will. Then I did a little update on the spirit spouse contracts, and I'm still finding out that people have these contracts, and they're appearing in ways that I really had not anticipated. So I think I'm going to do a video just on the removal of those contracts, just for posterity, in case someone has to be referred to that information. I'll do that in June. All right. But I just did a follow-up just saying, okay, I was able to really remove my contract, and the person who was enforcing the contract, I got them to work in my favor instead of work against me. And I was able to wrap that up really nice. Then I did a video called The Antidote, Part 1. And that's where we discuss, first of all, what the disease is. I mean, if you don't believe you have a disease, if you don't believe that you have a a quote unquote sin that you need to repent for, then the antidote can't help you. So sometimes the physician got to point out to you that you have a disease. And I think the spirit realm has been trying to communicate with us, telling us we've got these problems, but it's really hard to interpret the spirit realm due to the fact that, or due to the nature in which things are presented. And so I just wanted to, I just decided to let you all know that, there's a spiritual or a religious and a political philosophy that is literally been force fed to you through every single outlet, really, so that you would make decisions that are not in your best interest. And the only way to deal with that sort of activity is to first recognize it. And so that's what we did in that video. I pointed out to you that you got an attachment. We all have it because it's a part of our culture. But you can reject it, and that's how you get onto a different timeline. But if you won't reject it, you can't get onto the different timeline. There's no getting around that. So that's a good video. And then the last day of the month, I posted a video on transmutation, part 1. And I went through a process in which, if you have your astroturography chart done by me, you can, or if you figure out how to do it on your own, which you can, it's not difficult. You can't do necessarily the channeling I can do, but you can figure out the basic stuff. The wheel is out there. So how you can take the use Newtonian laws to take the equal and opposite energy and apply it to that quote unquote negative energy that you're experiencing, so that you can transmute it effectively, so that you know what the transmutation should look like. I think the hardest part of transmutation is that we have no idea what the transmutation is supposed to look like, because it's very mysterious what transmutation actually means, what it looks like. It's very mysterious. And so in order to make it less mysterious what transmutation means, I put it with something that people do know, which is these Newtonian mechanical laws, that are pretty easy to navigate. So I hope that makes sense for everybody, how to deal with that. So yeah, that was May. It wasn't a lot of videos, but they were very, very impactful. Hopefully they were important to me. They were timely, and they were succinct. I didn't do a lot of, bloviating for over an hour just on my Vatican video. And even when I was getting to an hour, I was like, good Lord, I gotta get this video. We gotta wrap this video up. Get this thing over with. I don't think that's going to be the case in June. I think I might either make shorter videos so that they're not an hour and put them in multiple parts, or there'll be certainly some hours that's over a video in June. There's a lot of information coming in. It's coming in very quickly. As you can see, in the last week, I made 3 videos, and literally it took me like the whole month to basically make 3 videos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I made 6 videos before the last week, and in the last week I made 3 videos. So that's how fast the information has switched. It's coming in much, much faster, much, much clearer since we've gotten into Gemini season, and Gemini, Cancer, and Leo season. I anticipate it's going to be a lot of information coming through. This is also a reminder that this fast that we're doing now will be over on the solstice, and then on the end of July or August the 1st. Either or, that's when we'll start our cross-quarter holiday fast. I'm not sure what it's going to be about yet, but as we get closer, I will let you know. But that's just a reminder. And then usually for that fast, it's another one of these prayer fasts where we just, I will probably do a prayer every day, something like that. We'll see exactly what's going to happen, but that's just a reminder when this fast is done. We got the cross quarter holiday fast that will take us into our ecclesiastical new year and into the fall equinox. So we're getting ready for a huge energetic shift, and we want to make sure that we are taking advantage of that. Right. So, give and receive requests. So, as usual, I have like fees, things that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to keep the cost for the tribe minimal, but there's some things I need to get that I just can't seem to make happen. Like I need to get a stamp. I want to put together application packets because the application is going to have to be done on a certain kind of paper for spiritual reasons that I'm going to need to send out to people, because I thought, oh, I could just let the people print it out. But I'm like, no, I actually need to send the paper out to them so that for spiritual reasons it can be done on this paper. So that's one of the things that I've got to figure out how to get. I have most everything I need. I really need a stamp. Um, and there's a particular plant that I need to get. I need the plant, and I also need the parts for the plant, so that I can be prepared to help people should they have a really specific problem that a lot of people have. And I don't want to present it until I have the what I need in my possession, which I do not. So that's like $80 altogether for the parts and for the plant. The stamp is like $40 or $50. None of this stuff is really expensive. I need I need to order a few copies of the actual license and membership ID for the tribe. That's like another 40 or $50, so that I can make sure that it looks right before I start telling people I can order them for them. I need a physical copy, like I need another physical copy of my tag. So, and then there's a couple filings that I need to do that are like $10 each or so, but I can squeeze those out. I'm more concerned about the stamp. I really need to be able to stamp documents when I send them out with the tribal stamp, and also with my stamp as the quote unquote chief, which I don't like that term, but I don't know what other term we're gonna use besides that. Because really I'm y'all sister, I'm y'all worker. I'm not really, I'm leading, but only because there's a leader required. You can't do anything without a leader. There's a leader required. So anyway, so it's not like a lot. Maybe $300 would be like fantastic. Otherwise, we'll just chug along and until I get it. And as I mentioned, well, I wanted the membership for the tribe to be completely free, but since I have to print the documents and send them to you, and there's stamps involved, it's probably going to be about $15 per package. So if you need more than one application, then I can print out a few. Maybe additional applications might be $5 if you need, like if you have a family of 4, so that would be like what, $30 or something for maybe 25, I guess, for a family of 4, something like that. Like, well, however many applications after the first one, it's not going to cost as much. And it's not the shipping, it's the paper and the ink and the stamps. Shipping is a totally different issue. It has nothing to do with this. And envelopes and stuff. So it's still some stuff involved. I want everything to be original documents, and I don't want it to be digital. That's another thing. Like for the tribal stuff, at least, I don't want it to be digital stuff. I want it to be physical, that you have to physically send back so I can have an original copy. That's really, really important. That's really important. It's too early for you to be up. Go back to bed. Lay back down. It's too early. It's 5:30. So, yeah, it's way too early for anybody to be up besides me. So, yeah, so most of what I'm trying to do is get this tribe stuff together, and then next month I'm going to get all of the stuff for the mystery school, because the mystery school is going to be similar. It's going to be digital stuff, but it's going to be physical stuff that gets mailed out, because I just feel like it's nothing wrong with having digital copies of stuff, but you need a physical copy too. Like, you can actually read, you can make notes, you can have it to pass down. Because part of the problem with having everything being digital, not to go on too long about this, but part of the problem with having so many things digital is that if you had to pass this information down to your kids, it's like on an iPhone somewhere, it's in the cloud somewhere. They wouldn't be able to find it and like make use of it. So you need to have physical copies of stuff, in order, just, if someone needs it and they can, accidentally run into the information and get it. And by everything being digital, and me, I'm one of these people, I love digital copies of stuff because it allows me to work on it everywhere that I go. I also know that I have to maintain physical copies. So it's going to be the same thing. Like, it's going to be some kind of a book, where information is going to be put in the mail, and you'll have a specific way to store it, and then we'll have meetings or something like that on, somewhere in some telegram room, along with having physical meetings. Because the thing about a maternal order, which is a female version of a fraternal order, a maternal order, is that you have to have physical meetings so people know how to act in the spaces. And that's another part that we don't have. People don't know how to act in certain spaces. So we have to do something about that. For sure. For sure, we have to do something about that. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. I know it's a lot I went through. But in order for you to understand my give and receive request of what I'm trying to accomplish, it's not like, oh, I'm trying to pay bills or anything like that. No, I'm trying to get what I need in place for the tribe. And I'm not going to use what I get from the tribe to get the things in place, because that is a really bad precedent to set. I want it to be like, okay, I made the sacrifice, or the community made the sacrifice to get this done, so that it tracks better. You know what I mean? Like, it's more, I don't know how to describe it. It's more viable. It's not like, oh, I just said X, Y, and Z, and then I didn't have nothing to go with it. It's like, no, we came together and we did this, and so the energy for that is it's almost as important as starting something on the right day is how you fund it. So if I take my last dollars to fund it, then it's not going to have a good energy. That's why it's like, no, it has to be excess, it has to be extra, it has to be something, or like this give and receive request, a gift or something like that. I don't want to take last of something in order to start something new. That's a really bad energy to put into something. And so you can keep that in mind for yourself. Like, you don't want to, when you have to lose your last to do something that is like a requirement, like you absolutely, I'll use my last to buy food anytime, but I'm not going to use my last to order my tribal ID. You know what I mean? Like, that's a, that sets a really bad precedent. That gets you, that sets a really bad precedent. We don't want to do that. We want to do things in a more from a higher frequency. There we go. So that's what this is. This is an opportunity for you all to engage me on a higher vibration, so that these things can get done. And they're going to get done no matter what, but it's my responsibility to ask. And people who are manifestors, it's y'all's responsibility to manifest it for me. People who are generators, it's y'all's responsibility to help me generate it. People who are projectors, it's y'all's responsibility to project this on the people to do. And people who are reflectors, it's your responsibility to reflect it back to me. Everybody's got a part they can do. Mine as a generator is to ask the question, hey, can anybody provide any assistance? This is what I'm trying to do. And then the collective gets in line, and they help when they can. So I hope that makes sense. That's why I do these. That's why it's important for me as a generator to go about it in this manner. I could, charge for everything, but actually I can't. I just found out yesterday that my Mars or my Aries placement makes it so that I can't charge for anything. Like that's actually literally my Aries placement. Cause I was like, man, why can't everybody else can charge, ask for donations and all of that? It's no problem. I can't do that. It's my Aries placement that makes it so I actually can't do that. So I have to do things like this. So I feel much better knowing that too. Literally everything is in your chart, once you start looking. So I hope this video meets everyone well. Peace and blessings to you all. Shalom, and we'll